Hey everyone, it's your boy Complains About Pokemon again. Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's the two games that is named after its fan base. It attack and it protect. So we recently had a Pokemon Direct which spread its cheeks and unloaded the big one on us, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon with a demo. So if you haven't seen that, feel free to check that out. Mystery Dungeon is a nice cutesy little game that I think you all would, or at least if you haven't tried the original yet, I think you'd enjoy. Granted, it's going to be $60 for this meal, but I want to say it'll be worth it, but that's not what we're here for today. What we're here for today is to talk about the DLC for Sword and Shield, which is conflicting in both a good way and a bad way. So let's start off with just the general stuff. The concept art, I'm not gonna lie to you, it looks amazing, but I will say this, that's concept art. There's a bunch of different games that have came and went, that have shown off amazing concept art, and the reality didn't really live up to expectations. So if Sword and Shield are any indicators, it'll look good, but probably disappointing at the same time. I mean, it's 2020 after all. We literally are in a year that sounds futuristic. And a tree shouldn't look like an unfinished toothpick at that point. But, you know, to each their own. It's not all about graphics, so let's continue on. So some of the costumes look good. They look good to me. I mean, to each their own. You may not like them, but they look good to me. Overall, for my pros, if you chose Sword, your rival looks thick, so that's a plus. I'll be holding back on any other judgments as I don't know her age. Rule 34 will probably take care of that. And then there is on Shield, your rival Avery. Now Avery on Twitter, you know, the place for only correct answers, really likes the way that Avery looks. I'll be the first to admit that top hat is a banger. But let's talk about the rest of this. I mean, Avery looks like he couldn't decide on a career path or a gender, so he chose both. I actually can't tell if that's a guy or a girl. I mean, or a 13th century piano player or a flamboyant soccer player. His wardrobe is literally just one giant split personality. He looks like a hitchhiker that got picked up by Miss Frizzle on the Magic School Bus. If you choose Shield, then your rival is basically Johnny Depp's OC Do Not Steal. But you're not really here for me to roast his outfit. You're more so here for me to talk about what I think about the game as a whole. So on the plus side, for these new expansions, you got the Crown of Tundra and then the Isle of Armor. You've got the usual suspects in any general DLC expansion, which is more wild area. That's good. More or less, that's good. 200 returning Pokemon. We definitely need to talk about that. Not as much work for a fun surprise, like quote unquote, in my opinion. It's like they have the everyone is here mechanic. The full game update's not really coming, just an expansion pass DLC. Let's be honest here. The original games definitely need a patch. It's not something that Game Freak usually does. Once they put it out, they put it out, and good luck if all the bugs aren't hammered out, and there definitely are bugs in Sword and Shield. So I feel like there has to be some patches at this point, but they probably are not going to give a shit, which is a shame, but I've come to expect it at this point. Visually, it's pleasing, and it's low-key kind of just nice to see that additional Pokemon are being added to it, even though they should have been in there in the first place. Now that the positives are out of the way, it looks good to me. It looks promising so far. Let's get into the cons. So, getting both of these expansions, you have to have both games to be able to. It's not the sensible thing that any normal rational person would think would be, oh, I bought one game, I can get both expansion passes. Nah, son, you gotta buy both of the base games to get both of the expansions, which, that's asinine. Or greedy. I mean, you can take your pick pretty much on that point. That's really shit-tastic. It's on the con side, it's like this is a con and a plus. On the plus side, they're doing straight up DLC expansion passes. On the con side, they're doing DLC expansion passes. And I say that because Pokemon as a whole, if you've been a fan or if you've been first gen, came in on any of the middle gens, second, third, fourth, all that other crap, you know that they'll release two versions and then they'll do like a third version, or at least like in Sun and Moon's version, for example, they'll release the deluxe versions of those two, getting you to double dip 2, 3, 4 times max, which It's pretty crappy consumer practices. Let's be real here. Game Freak has gotten away with this for decades, doing stuff like this. It's really a shame that this is an actual thing, but hey, if people willing to buy, I guess I'm willing to take your money, so you know how that goes. But the DLC expansion passes, it's a practice that I'm not a fan of, especially given the thought process of, how much did you hold back from the base game to put in DLC? You had to set a cutoff somewhere, and some of this had to already have been done by now. So you did elect to hold some stuff back to put in there that, again, should have been in the base game. So that raises that can of worms. The better the DLC, the more salty I'm gonna be for the base game. The base game is just, to me, it's boring. Some people have enjoyed it. And hey, if you enjoy something, you know, well, number one, you're probably not gonna let a nobody like me change your mind on it. And two, like, happiness is fleeting. So if it makes you happy, then enjoy it. But you can still enjoy something and criticize it, rightfully so. I like it just because it's Pokemon, but it's boring. It's Poke Light, in my opinion. It's Coke Zero, which is ass. Don't drink sodas, by the way, kiddos. Water's the best. Anyway, your parents aside, considering the fact that the announcement for this DLC is just literally months after the initial release of the base games, it just feels out of place. It feels like it's a sneaking suspicion that I have, that I'm assuming other people have as well, that you're kind of getting hustled. You really are. But that's just me. I'll leave it at that, and then you guys can let me know what you think afterward. But I'll say this as far as the content side. If you think that this is the base games of Sword and Shield were full games, then you underestimate how capable Game Freak and the Pokemon Company are. You underestimate them. You make them like they can only do the basic of the basic, and they can't do anything else. They can. They're talented people. They can do much more than this, but if you think this is as good as they can do, that's a pretty low bar. But who knows now? Now that I've spent some time just criticizing the crap out of it, feel free to get those dislikes ready. Who knows? Maybe the next game on the Switch may not be as bare bones. Listen to me lull myself into a false sense of security. Maybe I won't get hit this time. I don't know. But it's just wild though. It's like 110, 120 for both games. 30 for DLC, that's just for one. If you want to get the full everything, like a real, and they're out there. They're going to be Pokemon fans out there. Because again, I got both. I got Sword and Shield now. If I do, I'm interested in the DLC, but just because, kind of a cuck one. But if I got that, that's 120 or so for both base games, and then that's 30 for DLC for both DLC. So that's like what, $180 off the top of my head. That's not give or taking like tax involved, shipping if you get it shipped or whatever, if you don't have Amazon or whatever. Just any other miscellaneous costs in there. That's a lot for something that really should have been just in 2 games. Just to be real, that's a lot. For companies like EA and Activision, talk like this is just dirty talk. It's sex talk. It's phone sex to these companies. So I don't feel essentially good about that. And then of course on the flip side of that, like I said, you've had the previous to where you would just have to buy the updated versions in brand new games, or an updated version in just like one additional game or something like that, which again, it's dirty talk for pretty scummy companies, I'm sure, because money is money, and any more of they love it. Of course, they're supposed to. Granted, I do like the fact that pretty much all of the legendaries just happen to be returning in the DLC. One key legendary to keep an eye on is the newest legendary called Cub Fu, or at least that's what the DLC is supposed to center itself around. Then when it's able to evolve, it evolves into Urshi Fu, which has 2 distinct fighting styles. One fighting style is called Mr. Steal Your Girl, and then the other fighting style is you pay $30 for me. Pokemon's been doing that for literally decades now. I'm guilty of buying into it too. It feels meaty, no lie, the DLC, but when you've taken away so much, of course it feels meaty in comparison. If you went to a restaurant and you bought a meal and you paid full price for it, like this goes way back, by the way. You paid full price. This meal is good, I want to come back and get it again. You come back again, but this time around, you pay full price, but you only get half the meal. But hey, this may be half the meal and you're getting less than what you paid, than what you paid for last time. But we can sell you the rest of the meal for even more, so now you can get a full course meal like you thought you were getting in the first place. Are you willing to accept that, or are you not? It's really up to you. So at the end of all this, you ask me, what do I say to all this? What should I do as a consumer or whatever? Well, likely we'll just get up there on that table, spread those cheeks, because Game Freak is going in raw while making it like they've lubed up a bit. I like the change, I like the content additions, but for the lameness of the core games, the prices feel really bittersweet. But you know, as Pokemon fans, it's Pokemon. Let's cuck for them. You can slap me around, Game Freak, because chances are I can't help myself. Pretty sure Dynasty Warriors would love that unfair luxury of Pokemon to cut items from the original game and then sell it back to you later, without much backlash and plenty of defense in the woodworks for them. But that's all I've got to say. I hope you guys enjoyed me complaining for like the past 11 minutes or so.
All you ever do is complain.
If you do enjoy my complaining and any other detailed videos like highly edited crap that I usually try to put out, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I've got two major edited videos coming out in the not too distant future. One of them really depends on Sakurai. Hint, hint, wink, wink. The other should be coming not too long from now, maybe like a week or so, but good Lord, they take a crap ton of editing. So thank you guys for being patient with me. Thank you for sticking around so much. You know I gotta say thank you. Every YouTuber on earth says thank you, which they should, says thank you, but I really mean it because goddamn, it sucks being a nobody, but you guys make me feel like I'm somebody. So if I can brighten up your day, give you a little chuckle at my salt, then I'm glad to do it. You guys have a fantastic day. Take care of yourselves. Oh yeah, God, I gotta do the plug crap. Patreon, because I'm broke as shit. Threadiverse Apparel, if you don't want to donate to the Patreon to support me, that's completely fine. I'd rather you get some nice, sweet, sexy apparel for your bod. Feel free to send it in and show me what you're working with if you decide to get it, and I will be glad to show you off to the rest of the world as much as I can. Subscribe it. God damn, I mixed it. Oh boy, this cough medicine. Like, subscribe, comment. There we go. I knew I'd be able to make it through it. And if you don't, that's completely fine. If you enjoy it, take it easy. Peace.